more than a week ago now, that he's saying just that as a clear casus belli for his invasion of Ukraine. The reality is that, again, to the destruction of our nation we cannot submit. To the destruction of our state we shall not submit. And to try and say that everything that our great-grandfathers fought in the Second World War, everything that all these generations of Ukrainians have devoted their lives and died for, that is our independence, so my generation will not fall down as the generation that destroyed all of that effort by all the generations of my countrymen.
I have 30 seconds and I'm going to ask you this. Is it your sense, seeing what has happened in the last 24 hours, that the worst is yet to come? That the Russians are beginning the second phase of their offensive and it's looking bloody and brutal to us watching here from India?
Well, it is like looking bloody for them as well. The point is the fact that Russians are pushing us on all the sides is basically a sign of reality of their situation. They weren't able to try and conquer Ukraine in one fell swoop. And that is why we are putting together everything we have right now to try and arm everybody that wants to fight, to push back at the Russians, and to keep our state independent, to keep our state sovereign, and to keep our state integral. The point is, no matter what Russia throws us, this is our country, it's our nation, and people like myself, members of parliament, are joining in the fight and trying to do everything possible with everything we have to have bigger fighting chance for this country.
All right, Mr. Yurash, I appreciate your time here on CNN News 18 and all the very best for what you are doing. A big salute to you and to all Ukrainian people. On that note, I'm stepping into a quick break on the show. There's much more coming up on the other side. The West has been talking about sanctioning Russian oligarchs. Can they really sanction these Russian oligarchs? And who are these Russian oligarchs who are so close to Mr. Putin? And what about Mr. Putin's wealth himself? A special report on that? Do stay with us.
We were preparing in advance. It's important not to let your enemy anticipate your reaction. That's why I really did not like that situation where we put everything at risk and tell the world that we're preparing for war.
The United States has said that it will not enforce a no-fly zone over this country, and it won't put boots on the ground. Do you think it is now time for President Biden and other Western countries to reconsider that and to help him, not just with military aid, but with manpower?
I've already turned to some foreign leaders with this request. I believe that leaders must support democratic states of the world who are keen to defend several principles. The powerful issue of closing the airspace helps us tremendously. This does not mean dragging NATO into this war. We spoke many times with President Biden, and I'm thankful to him for these opportunities and support, but they also did not hear me. I've been telling them that Ukraine will fight hardest of all. You will see, with us alone against Russia, we would not be able to do it.
Your army has enjoyed some significant battlefield victories in the past week. I myself have been to see some of the Russian armoured columns that have been totally hammered and destroyed by the weapons and the men that you've got fighting the Russian advance. Are you now concerned, though, that the Kremlin will double down on its military operations and hit Ukraine even harder?
Firstly, why are we winning? Or why are we defending ourselves? Because this is our home. Yes, Russia will double up, but take a look at them. Why our men are stronger, more powerful and successful? Because, as I said, we have what we need to protect. And they do not even understand our state. They do not know these streets. They do not know our people.
Welcome back. Today morning, in his State of the Union address, President Joe Biden threatened Russian oligarchs.
How about you do the infinite mirroring effect?
What effect?
The infinite mirroring effect.
Now, the European Union
Is that happening right now?
Now, who are these Russian oligarchs that the West is talking about? And how is it that by targeting these oligarchs, the West can put pressure on President Putin? And what about Mr. Putin's wealth himself? How much wealth is he sitting on? And can these oligarchs really be sanctioned, or will they be impacted with the sanctions that have come Russia's way? Take a look. Super sleek yachts
What happened?
Led abroad. But those who fell in line became even more successful. Leading the Russia rich list is Putin himself. Putin treats the Russian economy as his own personal piggy bank. Officially, Mr. Putin earns about $1,40,000 a year and owns a small apartment. But his hidden wealth could be well over $100 billion. He reportedly owns a vast estate on the Black Sea called Putin's Palace, worth $1 billion, a luxury vessel known as Putin's yacht, worth $100 million. There's also a $4 million apartment in Monaco, purchased through an offshore company by a woman said to be Putin's lover, plus an expensive villa in the south of France linked to his ex-wife. A 2017 study estimates that over $800 billion are held by wealthy Russians in the UK, Switzerland and Cyprus. Roman Abramovich, a former Russian provincial governor and Putin ally, he's a steel and metals magnate with a net worth estimated at more than $13 billion. Abramovich owns British soccer club Chelsea and mansions in London and New York. He socializes with Ivanka Trump. Abramovich also owns the super yacht Solaris, said to be the world's most expensive. Alisher Usmanov, another Russian metal tycoon who was an early investor in Facebook. His fortune is estimated at more than $14 billion. Usmanov recently sold off his stake in the British soccer club Arsenal for a reported $700 million. Usmanov's super yacht Dilbar measures 512 feet and is said to be longer than Abramovich's. Sanctioning Russian oligarchs will have limited impact on persuading Mr. Putin to change course in Ukraine. He totally controls them. Falling out with Kremlin means they can be jailed or even killed. For example, oil baron Mikhail Khodorkovsky, once the wealthiest man in Russia, fell out with Putin and had to flee to London after spending 10 years in jail. Then there is Boris Berezovsky, a mathematician turned Mercedes dealer who was found dead in his bathroom in London, apparently poisoned. Will Western sanctions impact these oligarchs? Much of their wealth is not held in the sanctioned Russian banks. They have also been investing in cryptocurrencies and have dual citizenship in European countries. To cut a long story short, their wealth is specifically designed to avoid sanctions. With NC Satpathy in New Delhi, I'm Shreya Thondia. So the question is, will sanctions work? A cat and mouse game really when it comes to sanctioning Russian oligarchs. With that, it's a wrap from me. Thanks for watching. Good night.